Harry's wife. After the flop, what next? Harry's wife is in the era of the flop. Spotify cancelled its arrangement with her. She didn't get all of the money. Netflix has been a self-indulgent docuseries, and an ultimatum has been issued. Other offers aren't exactly forthcoming. Her popularity has tanked. Things aren't looking too good for her. Which then begs the question, what's going to happen after this flop? Where's she going to go to next? Well, there's a variety of answers that have been provided. First up, it would appear that, according to GOTV, that she could make a cameo at Italy's leading music festival. Prince Harry's wife, has reportedly been approached by the director of Italy's Sanremo festival to appear in the week-long event as a special guest. The Duchess of Sussex, who has recently been axed by Spotify, is being courted to make a cameo at Italy's leading musical festival, local newspapers have claimed. Princess Lilibet and Archie's mother could join the list of super guests expected to line up at the Sanremo Music Festival stage next year. The festival hosted several international superstars over the year, including Whitney Houston, Kiss, Queen, and Madonna, which then begs the question, why are they involving this no-talent zone? Festival director Amadeus, Rock Me Amadeus, first approached Harry's wife last year, but had no luck in securing her participation, according to an Italian newspaper, quite possibly because she simply saw herself as above it. But now insiders have suggested the showman, who has also been serving as the Musical Fates host since 2019, has mounted a new campaign to win over the Duchess. Last year, Amadeus is believed to have flown to London to get in touch with an actress close to the British royal family. Nothing happened, likely because of the hefty allowance. But rumour has it the presenter is trying again, according to the Italian website Degaspia. The cameo would mark a stark departure from the projects the Duchess of Sussex has gone after since quitting her senior working role in 2020. Harry's wife has a long-established love for Italy, naming her now-defunct blog, The Tig, after her favourite Tuscan wine, Tianello. She has also dedicated several posts on the platform to her love for food, pasta in particular. Oh, well, that clearly makes her an Italian, doesn't it? It's not entirely clear what they expect of her. The other international superstars who've been referenced, of course, are all music artists. Houston, Kiss, Queen and Madonna. They've got very successful, internationally famous careers in the field of music. Harry's wife, can she even sing? Can she hold a note? What's she going to do? Suddenly launch a music career, a pop career? Good Lord. I think that would probably only attract all of the local cats and dogs that would come caterwauling as a consequence of the din that she would generate. What's also interesting is the reference to a hefty allowance. Is it the case that they couldn't do it last year because of the financial demands of Harry's wife were too great? And now, do they suspect that because she's in more straitened financial circumstances that they could obtain her for a lower amount? If so, that of course shows the direction in which Harry's wife is going. She can't command the large fees like she once believed that she could. So there's a suggestion that what's next after the flop is that she makes a cameo at an Italian music festival. It's not exactly the Senate, is it? Well, talking of matters political, the Daily Record then pops up with the suggestion of what might come next for Harry's wife, namely, Harry's wife to run for president following Spotify flop, says Hollywood expert. Yes, this old chestnut again. The chances of her being president are somewhere between non-existent and just not going to happen, for reasons that I've explained previously. Ross King, he's still apparently turning up on television, probably had a bit of cosmetic surgery himself, judging by the pictures, but apparently Harry's wife could be venturing down a very different career path in the political world, as the former actress could be set to run for president, according to one Hollywood expert, as they made the shocking statement on daytime television. Ross King, known for appearing regularly on ITV's Lorraine and This Morning, appeared on Loose Women on Thursday to discuss the Duchess of Sussex when panellist Jane Moore quizzed him on what Harry's wife's next step might be following her Spotify flop. It comes as Prince Harry and Harry's wife both secured a huge loss last month after their lucrative Spotify deal came to an end after just one season of Harry's Wife's Archetype podcast, when they were dumped from the digital music streaming giant. Since then, speculation has grown over what the couple will do for their next project, with an insider claiming that Harry's wife's team have told her to go solo to save her career, as she has no future alongside Prince Harry. Jane quizzed the Scots showbiz expert on Thursday and said, "What about the US? Where do they stand on Harry and Harry's wife?" Ross replied, "They're certainly not as popular as they were, but I think a lot of young women, especially young women of colour, adore Harry's wife." Jane asked directly, "Do you think she could be president, run for president one day?" As Denise Welch chimed, she wouldn't want to, but Jane cut across her to say, "She's smart." Ross, however, said it's a definite possibility, as he explained, "I don't know. I wonder. I think she does see bigger things for herself, so that wouldn't surprise me if she ran in some way, governor or something like that." Royal expert Kinsey Schofield has claimed previously that Harry's wife is being mentored by political figures in the hopes of making a running one day. Is she going to run for president in 2024? Unlikely. However, there is room for her since Biden isn't committing. She's connecting with political figures to ask how she can help them in their efforts. And I think the ultimate goal would be that she would eventually run herself once she has established herself as a familiar political figure. She added, "We know that she's being mentored by several political figures higher up. She's friends with Stacey Abrams, Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris." It was claimed that these significant people could help make room for the Duchess of Sussex in the political world, but when the question arises if Americans would vote for her, Kinsey doesn't think so, as she is a very polarising figure in the States. I can safely say that it's a load of bunkum to suggest that she would become president. Of course, in her deluded mind, she believes that she could be, and it may well be the case that she certainly does harbour political interests, but she seriously hasn't got anywhere near the level of ability to come anywhere close. And by ability, I don't just mean cognitive function, but also the fact of the thick skin that would be required, because her brand of narcissism is such that she would be wounded and challenged left, right and centre, leaving her in a tailspin. But Harry's wife is trying to come out fighting, and there's another PR puff piece, this time in Marie Claire, which tells us that since moving back to the United States in 2020 with her husband Prince Harry, Harry's wife has tried her hand at a few different career paths, but sadly has suffered a few setbacks along the way. It then talks about Pearl being cancelled, and then of course what's happened with Spotify, and that she's fielded a lot of criticism over the years when coming out with new projects. But Marie Claire, of course, slurp, slurp, lick, lick, states, "We all suffer setbacks from time to time, not on the fucking scale that she does, believe me." And it sounds like Harry's wife is not letting it all get her down. Well, I thought she was distraught about what had been said about her in relation to Spotify. Which is it then? According to one source, the Duchess is determined to keep moving her career forward and to try out new directions that will align with her goals. She's also working with a talent agency, as we've heard before. The thinking on Harry's wife's part is that they owe it to themselves to fight back and make a success of things, however much that costs and however challenging it may be in some cases, a source told Closer. She told the team that her new plan simply can't fail. Well, given that her plan to be an author failed, and her plan to be a fashion icon failed, and her plan to be a bananitarian failed, and her plan to be a podcaster failed, and her plan to be an excellent content creator failed, along with many other things in which she's failed, this does not augur well for the fact that her new plan simply can't fail. Of course it can, but remember, this is Harry's wife. Driven by the delusion of her narcissism, it tells her you will succeed because you can't fail, it's only other people that can fuck it up. According to said source, Harry's wife wants to prove the haters wrong and find new and soaring successes in her various endeavours. Once again, this is demonstrative of the fact that she is unable to recognize that she is the reason that she keeps failing, nothing to do with the haters. She feels she's been backed into a corner. Her next move will be explosive, to say the least. The Sussexes' various interviews and media projects since their royal exit have often been branded explosive because of the many revelations they made about the royal family, but more recently it's been said that they would pivot away from tell-alls in the future. All of this, of course, remains to be seen. Well, if she's going to try and trot out what has gone before, she's simply not going to get very far at all. So, with the question posed after the flop, what next? It's an Italian music festival, politics, or simply a mysterious new plan that simply can't fail. What I can tell you is, whatever she is, it is going to fail because of the Sadim touch that she has, whereby everything, of course, turns to shit. We will, of course, be watching and ready to comment on what she does next, but this does demonstrate to you the way that her narcissism continues to drive her forward, causing her to believe that she can succeed where others fail. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.